Sup folks, I am Sol, and welcome back to Lord of the Rings The Realms in Exile, the total conversion mod for Crusader Kings 3. As promised in the first episode of my Arthazel campaign, I will be going through a selection of characters that I think are interesting, that I have very, very rarely seen played by anyone on the Realms in Exile Discord. That I am a contributor on this mod, but I have made sure that only one character that I have personally worked on is in this list. Well, technically two, but the other one is a much looser collaboration. We're going to start in the year of 3000 of the Third Age, where there are 7 characters that I will be taking a look at. These 7 are all obscure characters that have, in one way or another, an interesting campaign. It could be they have some decisions that they can accomplish, possibly unique content, but not technically unique. The first of these is Gazduf the Bellower, an orc and the only orc on this list. Gazduf is one of the Rukash High orcs in Tandarakan, or Tantarak, in the south of the map. He was added in the 4.1 expansion, and he has a unique artifact, the Horn of the Bellower, which is a very fun artifact that increases his martial prowess, prestige, knight effectiveness, and his minimum battle roll, which makes him a very competent commander. It's also got some entertaining localization there, which I will leave you to read if you wish to. The Rukas High culture has no unique men-at-arms, however, they can acquire some. They have a duo of interesting decisions to settle the lower lands of Tandarakan, which increases the development level by 3 in all regions of Tandarakan, specifically the High Lordship of Tandarakan, which is this area here. It also changes their culture to be jungle dwelling rather than mountain dwellers, and basically that +3 development level makes it really easy to colonize. Their second decision is sort of the opposite. You need to control Barazimabul, which is the Thra Blacklock clan seat, have the title of Furuk Erd, which is this duchy just here, I think. Yeah, Furuk Erd, and completely control that duchy. And doing that increases the development level in that duchy by 5, completes all colonies in the duchy immediately, and you gain access to the Obsidian Guard men-at-arms. You also lose strength in numbers in favour of metalwork, which makes your armies much, much better, and allows you to recruit heavy infantry, heavy cavalry, and elephant men-at-arms. Plus, those 3 counties in that duchy get the Volcanic Forges tradition, modifier rather, which increases their men-at-arms stationed damage and toughness, and gives you some gold as well. A very nice ability. I'm not entirely sure what the stats of the Obsidian Guard are, but if I ever do an orc playthrough on this channel, the Bellower will probably be my choice. Next on the list, we remain in Tani Hazad, the 4.1 update, and we have moved down to the very end of the world with the aptly named I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that title, Zoran, the Dragon at the World's End of the Scarlet Triad. This is the only Volmor character on the map at present. They are a culture group that lives somewhere in the southern archipelago over here. He is a pirate. He has some men-at-arms that only he can get because he is Volmor. The Volmor Venturers, which are nice archers. They're very high damage archers actually, but low toughness. They're a glass cannon. And the War Pirates, who are also kind of glass cannon-y. He has a unique decision to claim the mantle of the Sea Drake, where he gets his own custom empire title, the Hosts of the Sogikuti Kadir. And I'm not entirely sure what the Sea Dragon host is formed tooltip means. It could just be a reference to the rest of this, but he gets a very nice dynasty legacy and 2,000 renown. The only downside of this is that you need 10,000 gold to take the decision. And you must have a realm size lower than 15 and only control coastal counties, which in reality is conquering the rest of the Duchy of Metkarin, where he starts, and then you can go to war with Pell to get up some more coastal counties, because you will need more than one county. You can get most of that gold by raiding, but you'll need more of a force to do so. Moving on to number 3, we have Radamor the Fierce Blade of Mimita. This is an exceptional jungle fighter. He's already maxed out the tradition. He is one of the Farian, and his goal is to restore the kingdom of Zajantak. One of the developers for the mod has given him a special decision to unite the kingdom, which I think can be taken by only him, but I might be wrong on that. And it's a very nice one. It might unlock some more content. I haven't played through as him, but I think he's a very interesting character. He was added a couple of updates ago when Belakar and the Tunan Karlok were introduced, but he's only recently been given this decision. He doesn't have any unique men-at-arms, but he does have access to the Tulwangi Cliff Wardens and Jungle Walkers, which are decent men-at-arms. They're quite defensive. And his entire goal is to see the downfall of the Storm Host by restoring the power to the native Farian peoples. To complete his decision, you need to control the duchies of Mimita, Yeretik, Karneri, and Yasin, and that gives you the kingdom, upgrades his title from the Fierce Blade to the War King, and gives him a whole bunch of piety and renown, as well as a very nice modifier. Then we have, in number 4, Corsair Lady Aglarin of Narik Zadan. This character is unique on this list because they, well, not unique, but they have no content that is unique to them. I've put Aglarin on this list because she's a very interesting character. Like her 3 brothers, she is the heir of the famed Belphegor, Gazduf the Bellower, a pirate king of Mardurak. And she is one of the characters that can get a specific Realms in Exile achievement. This is the Brother's Keeper decision. As Aglarin of Mardurak, reform your father's kingdom without killing any of your brothers. So you have to conquer them, or in some way usurp their titles without murdering them, and gaining the kingdom of Mardurak, which is a bigger challenge than you might expect, because it's not easy. You do start with higher intrigue than either Godrathor or Urizagar, but they are stronger than you. They have more men-at-arms, more people, and then you have the Kibble Kadar people and the Tejin Confederacy to worry about as well in your process. She is just a very interesting character, and she has got a artifact I didn't know about. This artifact you may have seen in Soul Tomato's video with a similar theme, as it is originally wielded by, I think it has title history somewhere as well, yeah. It was originally wielded by the Sea Shadow, Azruneth, of the Fleet of Shadows. That moves us on to number 5, and number 5 is the Dwarves of Nordinbad, led by Gorin, who is a character you may remember if you have ever played the game War in the North. I worked on this dynasty, and I very much enjoy this start. Gorin has access to the Longbeard men-at-arms, because he is a Longbeard at the end of the day, and he also has a few decisions that he can take on to stop the isolation that the Dwarves of Nordinbad have put themselves in, and eventually to claim even the entire kingdom of the Grey Mountains. He's a very fun start, even if you won't be playing as Gorin himself for very long, because he is old, even for a dwarf. I believe he's older than... Yes, he's 50 years older than Dane Ironfoot, which is a lot. He's not of the royal line of Durin, so he doesn't even have that to speak for his long life. And you will very soon be playing as Nordri, his son. Which brings us on to character number 7. Or as it turns out, number 6. Our first of 2 landless characters. Erodan of the Fords is another character from Nordinbad, from the War in the North, and he has some special content that has been worked on by Arian, the same developer who created the Azruphel content that we are currently exploring in my series. I created this character as well, and his dynasty is one of the unlanded dynasties that I made, which I created for to flesh out the courts in Arnor that I touched upon in my video yesterday, as at the time of recording. Erodan is just very fun. He starts with 4 companions. No, he starts with 2 companions, Andriel and Farin, also from War in the North. The other 2 are randomly generated by the AI. And he's got some content that roughly follows the storyline of War in the North. He is very fun. I am playing a game through him currently in my own time, and I am enjoying the content greatly. He is also the last of our characters in the 3000 Third Age start. So we will now be moving over to the Long Winter start date to take a look at the remaining 3 characters. Or, to be more accurate, the remaining 4 characters. And to start with, we are going to take a look at the only other non-landed character on the list, Belfazan of the Kingly Path. This is the only, I believe, legitimist adventurer camp in Realms in Exile, and he is the bastard branch of the kings of Gimiltani and Tani Hazad. He claims to be a better ruler than his uncle Zadnazir, and honestly, I think he would be right. He's a strong commander. He has Blood of Numenor 2, which is rare in Tani Hazad in this start date. And he has a good prospect. He only has 1 follower at the moment, his father Gulton. But you can have a lot of fun as him trying to reclaim, not his birthright, but trying to usurp the throne from his family. I have also, as him, discarded this ambition and moved over to Tanturak to resettle the Isle of Ardenak, which is an interesting playthrough in and of itself. I would recommend that you try it, if not as Belfazan, as any character in the area. It's quite a challenge. Then we have character number 7. Azruphel the Silken Spider is the first and possibly only character on the list who is a vassal. She is in Mordor and is a devout servant of Sauron. She originated as a Nernoth slave and has proven herself a loyal ruler after, well, likely murdering her way up the ranks. She has the Blood of Numenor and is a sorcerer, which means she has access to the sorcery content, which I am not particularly familiar with, other than it may be getting a rework at some point in the future. She has no specific decisions, but she's an interesting character. Perhaps you can try and take control of all of Mordor from the Witch King and prove yourself a more worthy lieutenant of Sauron, or maybe just take over the Kingdom of Nirn and improve the production of its slave farms tenfold. Moving on, we have Eid the Builder of the Rudarin hill tribes, the Neutreven of Moinduldacht, who I have definitely mispronounced there. This is the only Hillman ruler in the start date, and there is only really going to be 1 ruler in any start date post the rise of Angmar, because they are so few in number. This character, these people are still alive in the War of the Ring start, but I've chosen to highlight them here because you start with 2 holdings, which makes it a much easier time, and believe me, you will appreciate the extra income from the second holding. They have a decision that they can take to restore the Kingdom of Rudar in an easier method than just conquering all of it, and that is to control the duchies of Hithaiglyphorn, of which they already half do, and Cameth Bryn. This also gives them the kingdom title, a bunch of prestige, piety, and feudalizes them, plus it accesses the forges of Cameth Bryn, enabling a new formal army. Currently, the only men-at-arms that the hill tribes have access to are the Hillman Axe Throwers, the Valley Berserkers, who are very, very glass cannony, but they are strong, the Long Pikes, and the Hill Island Riders. But doing this decision also unlocks a new cultural innovation, the Riddle of Steel, that gives them the Rudar Footmen as a professional heavy infantry unit. They're a fun playthrough, if a little slow at first, but you can take them down a path of siding with evil, perhaps, or as there are faiths not in the Rudaric group, but would make sense for them. I think those are in the Forodwaithrim faiths. Azira would make sense. It's a Witch King inspired faith, or even you could try and restore the Cult of the Winter King, move into Angmar, and do some interesting stuff there, which I will not spoil if you don't already know about. Then we have the last character on our list, Adorn the Mountain Father of Hyraverkian. Many of you may have seen this character if you've played through the Wolf storyline in this start date, and you might not have realised that he has a bunch of content of his own. It's not unique to him, indeed any of the Eredrim rulers in the area can take this decision and its follow-ons. But I think that Adorn is in the best position in both of our current start dates to do it. He can take the Unite the Eredrim decision to form a new kingdom, and there are 3, I think, follow-on decisions that allow you to make more kingdoms and an empire title, taking all of the land from Larmadon down to Andrast as part of your realm. He's also just a very, very strong ruler. He's got 2 inheritable traits. He's likely going to live for a very long time because of that. He does have access to some custom men-at-arms, as most cultures do, but nothing unique to him. And he is the tallest character that is not a Dunedain or an elf in the mod, as far as I am aware. There are many, many more interesting characters in Realms of Exile that I would recommend that you play, but these 10 are all I will say for this video. If you wish to see more of this, please do let me know, and if you have a favourite character that is a bit obscure that I haven't mentioned in this video, leave it in the comments, and I might highlight them another time. But for now, I have been Sol, and this has been Crusader Kings 3 Realms in Exile. Have a lovely day. Farewell.